Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, The Accounting Educator. I'm Safir Ahmed, a senior lecturer in accounting and finance in a UK university. I also work with ACCA as Early Career Ambassador. This video is relevant if you are thinking about starting financial accounting, preparing financial statements, unit AAT level 3, or you are currently studying this and you are in your initial stages of studying this, or if you want to know the study tips, how you tackle this unit, because this unit content-wise is quite lengthy, and part of the reason is that they combine two units into one. AQ 2016, it used to be advanced bookkeeping and final accounts preparation, and what they've done is that they combine these two units together. So as part of this video, I will be giving you an overview of this unit, and I will be sharing some study tips as well as some exam techniques. So these are the main topics. So first of all, you will be recapping on your double entry bookkeeping system, double entry bookkeeping rules, and you will be applying those throughout this unit. So if you are just transitioning from level 2 to level 3, it's absolutely important that you understand these rules well and you can apply in given situations, especially how to record those double entries. And in line with those rules, that you will be making some entries in some of these topics. And then quite important topic, which is extended trial balance and extended trial balance. So this is before we prepare financial statements. We prepare extended trial balance. So we are kind of identifying which item goes in which of the financial statements, and also taking into consideration of the adjustments as well, year-end adjustments as well. Adjustments, for example, accruals and prepayments adjustment, for example, adjustment for depreciation, for closing inventory, for example, things like that, or allowance for doubtful debts or irrecoverable debts. Okay. And it's quite important topic. It does come up in exam all the time. Sometimes less marks, sometimes more marks, but there will be something in relation to extended trial balance in exam. Accruals and prepayments is one topic that which students quite often find it tricky. And if your double entry rules understanding is really good, that it does help you to understand the accruals and prepayments topic. So what I will suggest you to do is that make sure that you understand the double entry bookkeeping rules very well, and you can apply them in a given situation, that especially in recording entries. And quite important topic as well, that there will be guaranteed something in exam from accruals and prepayments. Depreciation and non-current assets, normally your one task is based on depreciation and non-current assets. And this will be in relation to, for example, calculating depreciation expense or depreciation charge for a year, or perhaps calculating accumulated depreciation for a non-current asset. It could also be non-current asset register, that you might have to make entries as part of the non-current asset register. So in a nutshell, that you will need to make sure that you are happy with how to calculate depreciation, understand depreciation, accumulated depreciation, also non-current asset register, and in addition to that, disposal account. So when we sell non-current assets, how do we record it? Okay. And when we buy non-current assets, that what cost we need to include as part of the asset cost. And in terms of the disposal, again, disposal account is quite popular in exam, that it does come up quite often, especially taking into consideration of the part exchange transactions. So if a old asset is partly exchanged with a new asset, so how do you incorporate that as part of the disposal account or asset at cost account? So absolutely important, that topic. Financial statements for sole traders. So this is basically for sole traders, statement of profit or loss and statement of financial position. What you need to ensure is you're familiar with the pro forma, and you're absolutely clear that what item goes where. Now, if your knowledge of extended trial balance will be really good, that will also help you in preparing financial statements for a sole trader. And that's basically statement of profit or loss as well as statement of financial position. And then we have financial statement for partnerships, so which has some subtle differences, but not major differences. So, for example, statement of profit or loss for a sole trader and statement of profit or loss for a partnership is going to be exactly the same. And in addition to normal statement of profit or loss, for partnerships, we also prepare a statement of profit and loss appropriation account as well. And obviously, partners' current accounts and partners' capital accounts, we prepare those as well. So for partnership, that is quite comprehensive topic. It's not only just those two financial statements, but in process of that, we prepare, of course, some other accounts, which are partners' current account, partners' capital accounts, and statement profit and loss appropriation accounts. So make sure that you are happy with those topics. You need to make sure that you are happy with the pro formas and the double entries in relation to that. Then year-end adjustments. So year-end adjustments, in addition to what we accruals and prepayments are year-end adjustments as well. Depreciation is year-end adjustment as well. Closing inventory is year-end adjustment as well. So how to calculate closing inventory, there's a whole topic on that. Irrecoverable debts, stuff like that. Also, any correction of errors will be a part of the year-end adjustments, or in other words, how to record journal in relation to that. So just make sure that you are happy with the year-end adjustments. Again, there is a guaranteed something in exam. These year-end adjustments could be reconciliations as well. So reconciliation of control accounts with the subsidiary accounts, or in other words, the control ledgers with the subsidiary ledgers. And then incomplete records, perhaps the most important topic, and a lot of students find it challenging in the beginning, but with question practice they get there. And this again, it depends on how your knowledge is in the rest of the topics. If your knowledge in the rest of the topics is very strong, in incomplete records, you are normally fine. As part of the incomplete records, you need to make sure you're absolutely happy with the markup and profit margins, and you are also happy with the control accounts. You're happy with for example, those ledgers, bank ledgers. It could be a non-current asset disposal ledger again. As part of the incomplete records, it can come up as well. As a balancing figure, they might ask you to calculate something. And in addition to that, it could be inventory lost, the value of inventory lost or stolen, how to calculate it. You need to make sure you are absolutely happy with. And then conceptual framework, which is theoretical side of things. As part of the conceptual framework, what you need to make sure that you are happy with is the accounting concepts, which includes accrual concept, prudence concept, going concern concept, and there are some others concepts as well. Just make sure you are happy with that. And also the elements of financial statements, which is like definition of asset, liability, expense, income, and qualitative characteristics of financial statements, which includes two fundamental characteristics: faithful representation and relevance. And then, of course, you have comparability, verifiability, timeliness, and understandability. And then profitability ratio, this is new topic. So it's kind of guaranteed that it's going to be in exam, because it's a brand new topic in your FAPS. Obviously, before FAPS, that this profitability ratios or ratio analysis was not part of the AAT level 3. So this is something that they have included first time. So therefore, that it's almost guaranteed that something will be there in exam from this topic. Okay, so these are the key topics as part of your FAFS unit. So let's move on to some of these study tips. You might agree with those or you might not agree with those. We all are different. Remember that some stuff can work for all of us, some stuff can work only for some of us. So if it works for you, fine. If it doesn't work for you, you might have your own techniques. That's perfectly fine. But if you find these useful, and there is no harm in trying as well. So first of all, the most important thing in your FAPS unit is understanding the concepts. If you don't understand the concept, it's not your AAT level 2, remember, that you can still scrape through. In this unit, that you must have to understand the concepts well in order to gain good marks. Okay. The second study tip is that make sure that you are able to apply double entry bookkeeping rules where applicable. So there are quite few topics where you will be doing that. So please make sure that you are happy with that. And probably you must have heard this from a lot of students. Perhaps you know it already as well, that practice as many questions as it takes to gain confidence. Okay. Again, understanding concepts is most important, but in addition to that, you must be very comfortable in doing the questions. And the only way you can gain that is practicing as many questions as possible. And then attempt practice assessments as well. And I would suggest that time-bounded practice assessment. So whatever is time allocated normally in exam. So again, in terms of identifying any issues with the time management and stuff, is important that you complete these time-bounded. Okay, now exam techniques. So these exam techniques are applicable to all level 3 units, level 3 exams, but particularly for this one. So first of all, start from the questions according to your strength. So if you're most confident in year-end adjustment, start with this question first as an example. So this gives you psychological advantage because then you tend to perform better for the rest of your exam. It might be obvious, but sometimes, it's reminding these things to ourselves that does help us. So one student might be more comfortable in extended trial balance, or another student might be more comfortable in non-current assets. Go with that, so start with your strengths always. Plan your answer. Spending a couple of minutes to write down your plan does not really harm you, trust me. Especially, for example, that I need to do this part first, this part first, these things I need to take care of. I need to kind of, take into consideration that when I'm actually doing my questions. I think this is probably the underestimated one, that do not panic. If you're not sure about part of your question or information, just think rationally and try to recall what you learned in this topic. Attempt this part last as well, because if you're not very sure about it, you're not very certain about it, there's no point to start with this, because it can only dent your confidence in the assessment. And then last but not the least, try to leave last 10 minutes to review your answers. Sometimes you can spot your errors quite quickly and you can correct them. Okay, I hope that this was helpful. Thank you very much for listening, and I will be back with other videos. Bye for now.